Good evening, fellow classmates. The task we have been assigned to complete is stated as such that we should choose an item or a totem to be used as a vehicle which will allow us as individuals to convey who we are to our fellow peers. Yet, to reduce every facet of a man to a single object is an impossible task. How does a person look over the whole of their lifetime and attribute all of the flaws and successes, all of the adventure and reflections, and identify the inanimate that symbolizes their existence? I suppose it's in the nature of man to attach achieved glory to objects of mediocrity: the boxer and the glove, the magician and his wand, the president and a flag. But as for me, what trinket could I hold out to the world that could describe the essence of who I am? Perhaps an apple for the mentor and teacher I aspire to be, a pen to commemorate the poems and stories I have authored and published, or better yet, a pair of wrestling shoes for the hours dedicated to the mat as a competitor and coach. No, maybe then I am best represented by the spent shells from belts of ammunition that I left in Iraq during that bloody war, or the empty prescription bottles that decorated my medicine cabinet this past decade. The problem that arises is simple to elucidate. Each of these things can only outline a small sample of the life I have come to build. There is no possession that can compare to the thoughts of love that I feel for my perfect wife and our four eccentric children. But in my mind, if I can shrink that grand visage of love, I could package my life but with one metaphor: the atomic configuration of mass that best suits the labors of my life is that of water, the finite supply that graces the banks of Lake Thunderbird, where my mother taught me to swim, and where I nearly found an early demise beneath its murky surface. Water that is as cold and solid as the ice in my heart. How my warm blood froze to icy fibers the day I learned of my father's suicide. Water that gives way in heat to vapors, the vapors that dance nearly invisible like the memories of Iraq, the heat rising in waves, obscuring reality, and melting the years of my youth forever to that broken nation, and like water, condensed me into the husband and father that I have become. A father that pleads with God for the ability to spare his sons such hardships by teaching temperance, humility, and love. Like water, I have traveled the currents of this life from the shores of North Carolina, where I was born, to the Great Plains of Oklahoma, where water for its lakes and streams could only be routed by man. And on then I floated to the beach of the Pacific and back around the bend to settle here in this drought ridden field. I am where I am needed now, nourishing the minds of young men that choose to wrestle. I try my best to teach them the truth of life, while coaching them through what I consider to be the greatest sport of all time, a sport where water is as important as technique. Too much and a wrestler is overweight, too little and he's undersized. Balance and management have become a tool to illustrate the struggle that life presents. For those that heed the warnings and apply the lessons, they no longer thirst for the glory we seek. And again, like water, I can rain down on those under my charge and shower them with the praise they and I have earned in our triumphs, finally to settle in deep collected pools of a lifetime and warm my face in the glow of a setting sun, for I am water.